we are getting a Henry Cavill Highlander movie.
Dude,
This has actually been in the
yes.
works for a while, like I was talking about, where Ryan Reynolds actually was slated for a while. They were trying to get Ryan Reynolds to play the Highlander, but
Why
I
would
guess
they
it
choose
didn't
Ryan
work out.
Reynolds?
I guess because he's a big name and he can fit a Scottish guy. Do you think Henry Cavill can play a Scottish
Yeah,
actor?
he's got a British accent.
But
He's
you think he
British.
looks? Yeah, but he's got like the dark hair. I guess is
Yeah, he could
Scottish.
play Scottish.
Okay,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
could.
okay.
Um,
A lot of a lot of Scottish people have the dark hair. The like, it's not just the redheads, the Irish
if I would
vibes.
say, I would say, let him grow out his hair, let his
Yeah.
beard grow out, rough him up a little bit, and put him in a kilt. Yeah, he looks. If Mel Gibson can play a Scotsman, then
Oh
Which
yeah,
he
Mel
can.
Gibson
Henry
did do
Cavill
it.
can play a Scotsman.
Yeah, that is
Now,
true.
Yeah.
Joseph, can you pull up the article that I have for this? Because I
right.
wanted to the article kind of briefly give a synopsis of
Mm.
what Highlander is. Can
I
you
Okay.
love
Google?
I love Highlander. It's one of those movies that I love watching because it's cheesy, but the concept and the execution of like some of the fights and ideas, I don't know, it was just really cool. And it was very fun.
Okay. So where are you looking on this article, Joshua?
Where's well, let's just start now. Committed the film 15 years. Okay. Well, actually, Wyatt, because you know more the backstory of Highlander and can you briefly just describe what Highlander is for people who
Yeah.
maybe have not seen the film? Because it is a well-known film, but you
Mm.
can miss it. There's
A lot of people missed
So
it. I would have to
yeah.
say I'm in that crowd.
So Highlander is, you know, it's a film about an immortal who, back during the, I don't know the exact time period, but he's a Scottish Highlander and he's fighting in a battle and he gets killed and he wakes up, he doesn't die, and everybody thinks he's a witch and stuff, and he's immortal.
So
And so it's about, there's a bunch of immortals and they're all essentially in this contest to kill each other, to become the one who receives a prize or something at the end.
yeah, so there's immortals are all over the place, and you don't really know you're immortal till you get killed and you don't die, basically. And once that happens, then you have to you. It's kind of weird, but you get entered into a contest where you have to kill other immortals and kind of be the last man standing, if that makes sense. And
So these
so,
immortals actually end up dying anyway.
if you get killed by another immortal, yes,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
you
Well,
get killed by another immortal, and you take their power.
you have to chop off their head and you get all of their knowledge, experience, everything.
Nice.
So yeah, and so the movie is about, it's partially him remembering his past,
Mm-hmm.
and partially he's in modern times, and he's like the last one. He's like one of the last immortals, and there's another one that like killed his master. They're
Okay.
like the last two, and they're kind of trying to find each other and kill each other.
So
Okay.
go to the article now, because this is where the director, scroll up a little bit. Yeah, to right here where it says John Wick. Scroll down.
All right.
Yeah. So the John Wick director, the director for John Wick, Chad, how do you pronounce that last name?
Stahelski.
Stahelski, was attached to the project in 2016, and then Henry Cavill was slated in 2021. He was looked at, but now he's actually officially part of the project. This article, just to kind of summarize, and we don't have to read all of it, but they are saying they are going to be taking aspects of the TV show and the movie that. And so it is going to be a little bit different than like what we've seen. It's going to be kind of a mix between both of how they're going to do this new film. But
So the source material for Highlander is only movie and TV. This is not from a book, right?
not to my knowledge, there's
I don't
not a
think
book.
so.
No.
Yeah, I
There's
think
not
it
a
was
book.
an original idea. Yeah, there was a TV show. The TV show got weird. It was kind of interesting the first season, but it was also weird. There was like a second Highlander movie, even though it's like the first one kind of ended it. I don't know. It was strange. It was bizarre.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But Kay, can you go to the IMDb and we can kind of go through because they've already got people that are attached to this project that
13
are
names, in fact.
well, they're probably there are other Highlander and characters that we know from the old movie. So these are people who are already attached as of now.
Okay.
They haven't
Yeah.
started, and there's the actors strike and everything. So there is a possibility that some of these people might not end up in the film because this is still early in development. But we can kind of look at this because they are slated. So Antonio Banderas is supposed to be in it
Okay.
playing.
Probably the Spaniard.
Well,
Ramirez.
it says who he's playing.
Ramirez.
Ramirez,
No,
which was Sean Connery's character, the
yes,
Spaniard.
yeah,
Dave
and then
Bautista
Dave
playing
Bautista.
Playing who?
Kurgan.
Oh man, that's good casting
Yeah,
for the Kurgan.
yeah.
He's
Okay,
because he's like
also
an
Jason
old.
Momoa might be Kurgan as well.
Okay,
So it's between two
Either
actors.
one,
either one is
either
good.
one could do it. Well,
Although the Kurgan is like an ancient Nordic. He's an ancient Russian Nordic type, like old, like from the Bronze Age
mhm.
type warrior, and
Mhm.
just so I don't know. I don't know how they want to play that race wise. If they want him to be the Nordic, or if they want him to be darker, like maybe he's from out somewhere more closer to like the like Kazakhstan or something.
Mhm.
That could be interesting.
Brenda Wyatt, potentially played by Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Okay, that's the
And
love interest character.
Rebecca Ferguson as the Heather character.
Right. So
Kevin
probably his love from
Right.
from before.
Kevin Bacon. All right. For Lieutenant Frank Morgan.
Yeah, the cop
Mm-hmm.
is kind of on to him.
All right. Samara Weaver. Wait, Samara Weaving. Do you know who this is? I don't
No.
recognize her.
No,
Rachel Ellenstein. Ellenstein.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Nicolas
Nicolas Cage.
Nicholas Cage.
For is that Detective Walter?
Yeah.
Detective
Mhm.
Walter
Nicolas Cage.
Bedso.
Okay. So some big names.
Orlando
Yeah.
Jones. Ryan J. Condal.
So some other immortal
Carrie Williamson.
oh, these are writers.
Yeah,
these
these
are
people are
writers?
attached to the project. That's
Okay.
not actors.
So what do you guys think about, from, I guess, Kevin Bacon up, the well-knowns?
I mean,
What do you think about
I
Margot
think
Robbie? She's been around a lot of stuff lately.
yeah,
Why you said
I
you retired
really
her like
want
4 movies ago.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
want this Highlander movie because there is this, the story of Highlander is really cool, and I think the concept is something unique that I don't want them to make this almost like, the remake or they need to make it big and they need to do it right, almost like they're doing with Dune, and not make it just another remake.
That makes sense. Do you want to take a look at the cast for the original?
Yeah.
Let's see. So the Highlander original movie. Let's see the cast for that, and there's a couple recognizable faces in this.
Mhm.
Honestly, Sean Connery, obviously. Ramirez is Wyatt already mentioned. Connor was played by Christopher Lambert,
Mm-hmm.
and then Clancy Brown Wasn't he in Ahsoka just recently?
Yeah.
Clancy
Yeah,
Brown.
he's been in a lot of stuff, and he was awesome as the Kurgan.
But he was bald and
Yeah,
like no hair in that movie.
but he's so big. He's so
Mhm.
big that he played a really imposing, cool character.
Roxanne Hart, Betty Edney, Alan
Mhm.
North, Sheila Geish. I don't know who this is. Man, there's a lot of people that were attached to this project that I don't know. Oh, look, I know James Cosmo. Wasn't he in Game of Thrones?
Probably.
Yeah, he played
Yeah, he was.
knight,
Yeah, Mormont. He played Mormont.
Yeah, he played Mormont
Mhm.
in Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's some recognizable faces even in stuff that's come out recently with these actors. What year did Highlander come out? 1986.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, the music in the movie is awesome. You got Queen opening up.
Yeah, they keep
Yeah.
advertising Queen over here on the side on
Mhm.
IMDb.
I
I
mean,
guess Queen was a
Queen
big
opening up.
selling point for this movie.
maybe that's why I've romanticized this story a little bit. And I didn't grow up with the Highlander story. I just Wyatt showed it to me probably what was it, like a year ago,
Mhm.
maybe. But I've always had nostalgia for these like cool stories with like this very, old music or like very like rock soundtracks in the background, like Guardians of the Galaxy, and those are the kind of movies I really like. And that's kind of the cheesiness, but Highlander is that, and so that's maybe why I like it so much.
Look, this poster here, this art for Highlander,
Yeah.
makes me think I can literally viscerally hear Queen playing in the background.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was very it had a lot of those, when you think of those old Conan pictures where he's like up there with a sword and lightning behind him and just
Naked
like
woman at
some
his feet.
killer guitar, going.
Right.
That's what Highlander was, and it was awesome.
Right.
And then when they cut the head off of another person and the lightning is going all around them, they're like, things are exploding, lights are
Yeah.
going out and
And
flickering.
then
It's awesome.
they do the famous line. They're like, "There can only be one."
only be one.
Okay, so the question I have is prediction time. Do you think they're going
Okay.
to keep that same energy in a remake?
I would hope so.
They need to at
Do we see it
least
a lot happening these days? Like
even
holding on to that fun cheese but intense, almost anime style cheese
if they
in these
don't
live
make it
actions from the 80s.
if they don't make it like this high cheesy, like very like classic rock or type thing, then they at least have to keep the tagline of like Henry Cavill goes and like cuts off a guy's head and then he whispers in his ear, he's like, there can only be one, like he whispers it in his ear or something.
You're
Make
not
it
worried
dramatic.
that that he'll go up and whisper in Henry Cavill go and whisper in someone's ear, there can only be one before he cuts off his head. And then as he gets up and walk away, Megan Thee Stallion starts playing. You're not worried
Ooh,
about that kind of vibe?
I am a little bit, yeah, now that you mention it.
Or WAP by
No. No.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a little bit of, maybe some modern beats, but
but
I would
who's
want
the
it.
modern beats that are approved by Wyatt?
I'm just no, I like there's some modern stuff that I think could enhance, how you play into what the future looks like, what it looks like, what the present looks like now versus what it looked like in 1986.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you can, I think you can do that in a fun, interesting way while also keeping a sort of retro sound to the soundtrack as well.
So who's got the retro sound today? Oh, you know who could really show up for this kind of thing? Greta Van Fleet. Because they got that 70s sound, 70s and
Maybe
80s
I
sound.
honestly
They could play a few of their tracks in a movie like this and almost have the modern music while keeping the heart vibe of the original,
I honestly could see them like putting some like Weekend in there. And that's not a joke. I could see them doing something like that.
The Weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a star boy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, Greta Van Fleet just, like I can hear the guitar. It's like similar to Queen and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're just all "Welcome to the world."
Right,
It's just
right.
all falsetto.
Yeah, but I mean, it works. I think you could have some lightning going off in the
Yeah, something
background
epic,
behind
something
Henry
pretty cool
Cavill as you hear a
happening.
little bit of a Greta Van Fleet playing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I could get down with that. Any other thoughts or predictions before we move on?
No, but I
I
like that they're bringing Henry Cavill into this because we've seen with The Witcher, we've seen with Superman, Henry Cavill is passionate about what he does, and
Yeah,
he
so
is
he'll
a
bring the energy.
he's a nerd at heart. He
Hmm.
is one of the few actors that are actually a nerd for these kind of stories, which is Highlander is a high fantasy, very you need a nerd to
Yeah,
go all in with this. And I think Henry
it's
Cavill will
dramatic.
do it.
It's all the things that you want from one of these types of movies.
Yeah.
Is
Mhm.
it's like high drama, high octane, sword fights, history. I mean, everything.